Say that we're doing like a 1950s style blues or rockabilly tune.
Yeah.
As opposed to a modern Nashville country tune.
I would play the early stuff in that style. So if it's a 50s rock and roll tune, I would try to copy a 50s rock and roll beat. I'm not gonna play it like 80s style, but if I'm playing a Nashville style tune, like your modern stuff, I would approach that more in that way, which is kind of more rock.
Can we see what that 50s rock and roll style sounds like?
Yeah. So just be like whatever Chuck Berry tune.
Chuck Berry? All right.
It's kind of that two-handed thing going on.
You can hear that on, did you say Chuck Berry records or?
That's what Spaz would say. Yeah.
Little Richard, is
Little
that?
Richard. Earl Palmer is good to check out. That was kind of his group.
He passed away about 4 years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago. But he had the two-handed thing going on. So it wasn't just a straight rock thing. It was a little more swing to it.
What about like a jump blues shuffle? How would you approach that?
I might just kind of play more of a swing type beat. I might try to add the shuffle in there, but be like, I don't know, whatever, rock this house. Like that.
Bernie Dresser.
Can we see that on the hi-hats?
I would definitely be trying to copy Bernie. See it on the hi-hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe on the verse you could do like the old swing thing, open the hi-hat. Here's a couple different ones. If you don't want that, you could have it closed.
I think I could dance to that.
Something like that. Depends on the tempo too.
You're playing a quarter note on the bass drum?
Yeah, but sometimes you can do 1 and 3. It depends on what the bass player's doing. So if the bass player's playing 2 beat, 1 and 3. If the bass player's walking or playing 4, you play 4.
Okay, I love it.
Makes
What
sense.
about what about like a modern Nashville tune?
That stuff's really straight. Like okay, like New Kind of Lonely. That's just a straight like pop kind of rock group.
Oh, I got it.
It's actually just kind of like rock beat number 1. So I would say on that one, play more simple. If you listen to the Nashville stuff, the fills and everything is really solid, but really simple. A lot of like black boom, not fills all over the place.
Would you say that the drums and bass are extremely important in a Nashville?
Also check out the kick patterns because they're really specific. So like on a verse, the kick pattern usually gets more simplified, and then on a chorus, that's kind of the only thing that really changes on some of the tunes is the kick pattern. So listen to that, and like on your records, it's pretty specific. So.
And the bass needs to be totally locked in with that?
Yeah.
All right.
For it to be really happening, I think that's what you're looking for.
That's pretty good. What about a train beat? You got a train beat for us?
Yeah. So there's a few different ones.
Like what song would you use this train beat for?
This would be just like a standard kind of train beat. So like on the Johnny Cash stuff or like a Little Tattoo. It's just a straight two-handed train beat. Alternating stroke.
All over the internet. Drum lessons. From Disney.
I think it's just for Rye, actually. Alright, so that's like a standard train beat, and then you can play more just like a straight rock groove, like on that Vince Gill tune, what's it called?
One More Last Chance?
Yeah, One More Last Chance. That one's a little slower, so you can do a one-handed thing, but like... So depending on the tempo, and then you can swing the train beat like on Please Please Baby or some of your other tunes like it's the first tune we usually play here.
Keep on moving.
Keep on moving. That train beat swung, but it's alternating. So it's swung instead of straight. Pretty much with that you can get away, and then listen to the kick and the bass, because usually if it walks in the chorus, maybe add more energy, you can play 4 on the floor. I like to keep the hi-hat chicken, like boom chick. You don't have to do that, you can just do the hands and kick.
So that's on your train beat?
Yeah,
All right.
I think that gives it a little spice and flavor. I like to sometimes do this. Kind of play it open. You don't want to vary too much from the train beat, especially like on solos and stuff. Like you got to keep that happening. So the kick and the hi-hat are kind of the only things you can change. Even for fills, I would just keep it really simple.
What's your approach to playing fills on a typical Ry Bradley gig?
I keep them simple, like just usually short, like not really. Some of the tunes, like the choruses build up to like a whole 1-bar fill, but most of them would just be simple stuff. Keep it Motown.
Keep it Motown, huh? All right.
That's what Ricky Lawson told me. Ricky Lawson played with Michael Jackson and Madonna and Steely Dan. He said keep it Motown.
I like the elephant fill.
The elephant fill.
Pachyderm.
That's also known as Pat Boone, Debbie Boone.
Pat Boone, Debbie Boone.
So that would be a fill. That one's good.
What about gear? Do you use any specific type of gear for?
Oh yeah. So I try to use darker sounding cymbals that are thin. So like check this out. This is a Dark Crash thin. That's a Zildjian K. The Ride is a Bosphorus, which is pretty light. It's not super pingy. Kind of jazzier cymbals. Same with the hi-hats. They're not like manhole covers. Just
manhole cover?
Yeah, man. If your stuff's too heavy, it doesn't sound too good. So just more organic sounding, kind of not something you would use in an arena maybe. Stuff that'll blend more with the band.
Okay.
Like you don't want your ride to like be cutting through everything. You want, I mean you do, but you want it to blend more. Like, and your snare, just everything's kind of tuned medium. Like the snare's not super cranked. Try to get the toms to sound good. The kick's not super clicky, it's just kind of present. That's how I approach it.
Pretty good.
I try to be musical. There's a lot of questions, man.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to your interview on playing with Ry Bradley?
The only thing I say is, if you think that you need to play a lot, you're wrong. So try to play simple. I know that sounds funny, but less is really more. Especially for the modern country stuff. Like, there's not really room for the drums to be playing like licks and chops everywhere, and the fills are really straightforward, and there's really kind of like only a few fills you would use, and the groove is the most important thing, so focus on that, and focus on the singer. So come down on the verses, choruses, whatever. You can build up energy and stuff, but it's got to be what you're doing. Like, pay attention.
Thanks, Mario.
Yeah, man.